Hi, everyone. Ron Crider here, June the 10th, Wednesday, day 87. Stay safe at home. I'm reporting from Vero Beach. I'm smiling. I'm not doom and gloom. Some of you may understand what this is all about, doom and gloom. If you are a next-door neighbor, you'll notice that someone said that I was a doom and gloom on a death watch, and she just couldn't stand to see this video. So she doesn't have to watch it, and then that's probably going to be okay. Unfortunately, occasionally we have to talk about reality. I don't like doing that, and I'm not a doom and gloom person. You know that. I'm a happy guy. But reality is reality. By the way, for you folks who have not seen this before, I do these little news events every day. They come up about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I record them usually around 6:30 in the morning. As you can see over here right now, it's 7:21. I'm putting the phase one together. And I report the information for the state of Florida all the way from Miami up the east coast of Florida and then over to Orlando, including the Treasure Coast area where I'm broadcasting from. So I try to get as much current information as I can. I don't slant it because I want to report what I think is something that you should be knowing if you check on this. And I don't think it's a good idea for you to watch this every day. Yes, it could be doom and gloom because we don't have a lot of great news because nothing has changed. But we're going to talk about that in just a moment. I have shout-outs today, a lot of shout-outs to people like Harry, Claire, Paula, Inge, Jay, Daniel, Addy, Al, Ellen, Chris Long. Chris Long is a gentleman who is doing the roof in our building here, and he's with an outfit called the Roof Authority. The Roof Authority put the roof on the museum here in town. They put the roof on the theater and on the Vero Beach High School. Good, big operation. Nice folks. Chris Long's a nice guy. He originally put the roof on Victoria, where I live, and now they're replacing or repairing, actually, the roof that we currently have here. Also, a shout out to Marsha. She's Captain Marsha is at the front gate here. She's in charge of our security. And Patrick at Castaway Cove. And, of course, my doom and gloom gal. Well, you're going to keep me on my toes, and I know you're not going to watch this anymore because you don't want to see it, so we won't be talking to you anymore. I hope you have a nice day. I'm never offended by anybody who doesn't like what I do. They have their own likes. Everybody's allowed to do that. I also give the weather report for the Treasure Coast. That is Martin, St. Lucie, and Indian River counties. Areas of fog early in the morning. Well, that's passed. Then partly cloudy this afternoon, high 88. Winds east at 5 to 10 miles per hour for you boaters. About a 20% chance of rain today. Then tonight, we're going to have a few clouds with isolated thunderstorms, possibly after midnight. Low 77 degrees for you boaters, winds east-southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour, and the chance of rain tonight is about 30%, and we would get maybe about 0.02 inches tonight if we get any. The chance of rain in the daytime is about 20%, and they say no inches, so less than an inch, I guess. How about that? All righty. The daily cases have topped 1,000 mark for the past 7 days of COVID-19. Less than a week into Governor Ron DeSantis' June 5th Phase 2 reopening, fueling concerns that a second surge of COVID-19 cases may soon be on its way. Florida officials say masks, social distancing, and sanitation are vital ways to prevent having to close down the state's economy again. That we don't want to happen. And that's the purpose of these videos that I do every day. I want this to go away. I want us to do everything we can to make it go away. I'll say more about that in just a moment. Governor DeSantis has asserted that Florida has been seeing increased cases as testing has increased as well. But the rate of people testing positive has remained relatively steady in most counties over the past 14 days. The number of people tested in Florida ranged from 11,000 to more than 50,000, with the percent of testing positive range somewhere between 3.7% on June the 6th and 8.3% on May the 29th. One of the state's benchmarks for reopening businesses and other facilities is maintaining less than 10% rate of positive tests. The test rate here in our county, in Indian River County, is like 4.3%. I'll get to that in just a second, but we were outpacing the entire state quite well. The city of Vero Beach announced Tuesday the annual 4th of July celebration has been canceled over safety concerns stemming from the COVID-19 pandemic. Speaking during a briefing, the head of the World Health Organization warned that COVID-19 pandemic was worsening globally, even as the situation in Europe was improving. The bottom line here, as I say every day, nothing has changed. We have no vaccine. We have no pill. We have no shots for COVID-19. At this point, we are doing much better testing, therefore discovering more positive cases. However, the percentage of positive to the total testing is consistently in the low 5% range. Florida has tested 1,259,883 people as of yesterday, of which 66,000 tested positive. 11,185 of the positives were hospitalized, or about 16%. The deaths were around 4.19%. We've had 2,765 people pass away as a result of COVID-19 here in the state of Florida. Here in Indian River County, our positive versus testing is 2.16, or 167 of 7,743 tested. Our death rate is 11 out of 7,743 tested, or 0.14%, versus the entire state of Florida of 0.22%. The conclusion: Indian River County is considerably doing better than the averaging for the entire state. Okay, here's my doom and gloom. So for you folks that be prepared, close your ears if you don't want to hear this. We are still not testing enough. Testing is the key to understanding better where we are. Now with the summer activities here and all these businesses opening up, we must really concern ourselves with this social distancing, keeping our guard up, wearing our masks, and sanitation. This is all so important. The last thing we want to do is start this all over again. We don't want to have to close down the state. We don't want these cases to escalate. And this is a difficult time because we have a lot more people doing a lot more activities. They're not in an environment like school where they're really spaced out appropriately for this pandemic. So we're going to have to deal with it, and we better deal with it. It's very important. I hate to be the doom and gloom guy. Apparently that's going to be my new title. But it's the only reason I'm doing this is because this is still here. We want it to go away. We have to make it go away. And we are the only ones that can do it. You remember what I used to say about Smokey Bear? I'm not going to do the Smokey Bear thing again. I've gotten a lot of criticism over that. But bottom line is that only you can prevent COVID-19. See, I didn't even do that this time. Okay, here come the numbers back in a flash. Alrighty, folks, here are the numbers for June 10th, Wednesday, day 87. Stay safe at home. These came in about 11 o'clock this morning on Wednesday. Now, we'll take a look first at the entire state of Florida, reminding you again, 21,500,000 people live in our state of Florida. Testings so far, 1,280,003. We did test 20,720 in the past 24 hours. The new positives, pretty high, 1,371 new positives, 1,371 new positives for the entire state of Florida. New hospitalizations, 160. New deaths reported were 36. And the cases versus the testings still remain at 5.26. They always want to keep those way under 10%. That was what it was required to get everything opening again. So they're still staying at about 5.2%. That is the testings versus the positives. Alrighty. Now let's take a look at Indian River County. Indian River County, 7,900 total testings, 157, not very many in the past 24 hours, 5 new positives, no new hospitalizations, and no new deaths reported. We still have that low number, 2.18% of testings versus positives. In Dade County, 214,841 total people tested. They've tested an additional 3,314 down there, and they have new positives of 297. 297. So that's the highest number outside of the big number up here for the entire state of Florida. But for the county, it's the highest number in the counties we're dealing with. 53 new positives and 10 new deaths reported in Dade County. They have a high number, 9.44%. They're getting close to that 10% where the governor is going to start getting a little bit nervous. In Broward County, that's Fort Lauderdale, that would be 130,744 people tested. They've tested an additional 2,089, 158 new positives, 13 new hospitalizations, and 3 new deaths were reported in Broward County, Fort Lauderdale. In Palm Beach County, they so far have tested 96,654, 1,341 new tests in the past 24 hours. New positives, 160, pretty high number here, second highest number on the list. 21 new hospitalizations there, another second highest on the list. And then 9 new deaths reported in Palm Beach County. Their number is 7.94, so it's creeping up there. Let's take a look at Martin County. In Martin County, 11,330. Martin County is Stewart. They only tested a few, 127 in the past 24 hours. 24 new positive cases in Martin County, 2 new hospitalizations in Martin County, and 0 new deaths reported in Martin County. Although their percentage rate is 8.4% of cases versus positives. In other words, that would be 11,300 versus the total number of positives they've had there, which was 958. St. Lucie County, that's Fort Pierce, they've tested 15,233. They only tested 296 in the past 24 hours. They added 27 new positives down there, 6 new hospitalizations, and no new deaths. Brevard County, 27,570. They tested 346 more in the past 24 hours, 13 new positives, 1 new hospitalization, and no new deaths in Brevard County, that being Melbourne. Of course, look at their number over here, 1.76. 1.76 is the number of cases positive versus the number of tests, the 27,570 versus the number of positives, which was 484. And in Orange County, that would be Orlando, 86,287. They've tested 1,434 in the past 24 hours. They added 93 new positive cases, 6 new hospitalizations, and 1 new death was reported up there. Once again, we're only looking at Indian River, Dade, Broward, Palm Beach, Martin, St. Lucie, Brevard, and Orange counties. These are the only counties that we're looking at other than the entire state of Florida across the top here. So for the ones in yellow over here on the left-hand side of your page, if we take a look at column F here, 770 people. These are all of the new positives, 770, not including the 1371, which is the entire state. Obviously, the highest one is in Dade County. The second highest one is in Palm Beach County, and the third being in Broward. Very, very, very usual. Over here for the new hospitalizations, 160 in the entire state of Florida, 53 in Dade County, 21 down in Palm Beach, 13 in Broward County. They had 102. So it was 63% of the cases. The new cases of hospitalization, 63.75, are in those counties over there on the left-hand side in yellow. And then as far as the deaths are concerned, we had the most number of deaths reported in Dade County of 10 in the past 24 hours, total 36 in the entire state, 23 in our yellow cities over here, our yellow counties over there, sorry about that, and that's 63.89%. So let me take you on a little journey up here to the top. I'm going to see if I can't do this quickly, and now I'll really confuse you, but I want you to kind of get a little bit of a feel. I hope these numbers aren't too scary for you, but this particular line, if we take a look at line number 11, so I'll run my cursor across line number 11. These are how many new positive cases we have had in the past 24 hours, 1371, and these are each day prior to that. So it's 1371, 1096, 966. And the reason I want to show you that is because I want you to get an idea of because up top, these are the total testings up here. The red ones are the positives. So we tested 20,720. We got 1371 positive. We tested 23,770. We got 1096 positive. So can you see there, 18,408, 966 positives. And that's how these numbers pan out down here, 4.8, 4.19, 4.16. Now, that's on a daily basis. Those were the I scratched that. It's these numbers here, 5.26, 5.24, 5.25. So those numbers are remaining pretty steady, even though, as you can see, the number of tests that we're making are going up. But see how these numbers just remain the same. Look at these positive testings, 5.57. We're way back. We're getting back quite a bit. Let's see how far back we can go here. I'm going to go back to here, and we'll go up top and take a look and see what the date is up here. Well, we're back to 520, 521. So now I'm sure I really absolutely totally confused you, for which I apologize. All right, let's go take a look at the quick graphs right now. All righty, folks, here we are taking a look at the graphs that we have. This is straight from the Florida Department of Health. As I pointed out before, 1,280,003, the positive 67,371. They're saying a 5.3% for the entire state. Positives versus number of people that were tested. And then if we go over here, I always like to show you this one set of charts. And it's not much different than it was the other day, but just so you can see it and get a little bit better feel for it, I'll stretch it out a little bit. We are slowly coming down here in our deaths. These are much higher here. These are higher here, and these over here are similar, but then these are pretty low down here. That hopefully is a very good indication. Now, there are a lot of conflicting reports out there. See, look up here. Here's our number of positive cases that are coming in, and these are very high. 1,300, 1,200, 1,000. These are very, very high. Well, we don't like that. We don't like that at all. But I tell you every day, these people just have gotten sick with it. They haven't necessarily gone into the hospital, and they haven't passed away. So if these are going up, and the deaths are remaining very low down here, or lower. There's nothing such as really low, but lower. We clearly are going in the right direction. Now, a lot of conversation about what's happening with Florida, and because so many things are happening with the protests and so forth. So we really have to keep an eye on this. And please understand, I say this every day, please understand, we haven't solved any problems yet. Not one problem. The only problem we have is we still have COVID-19 living with us, and we don't know where he is. I mean, we never know when he's going to show up. I did a test today. You can look at the video. I posted a video here this morning. I went over to Cleveland Clinic and personally had my COVID-19 test. I have to tell you, it's not a bad deal. It's not difficult at all. It's a little unpleasant, but not seriously unpleasant. Not as bad as a toothache, I can tell you that. So I strongly urge everybody to get tested if they can. All right, the U.S. cases, 1,982,336. That's as of right now at 12:32 on Wednesday, June the 10th. Approaching 2 million cases in the United States. Big number, very big number. Our USA deaths, 112,088. 112,088. And we're beginning to, of course, creep up. Global cases, 7,277,489, and global deaths, 412,106. That's where we stand today. I try to rip through these numbers as quickly as I can. I don't want to bore you with them, but I want you to stay up to date. You don't have to look at this every day. That would be kind of stupid, because it's just going to, I think we have good news. I think we're in firm ground. We're testing a lot more. We're getting a lot fewer deaths based on the number of testings we're having. But we also are in the summer season. We got all the kids at home. Everybody's out socializing with one another, and we have all these protests going on. So It's very hard to tell, but it is something we need to keep our eye on. So thank you very much for watching. I have some new positives coming up here for my little quotes. Today we're dealing with, again, with Winston Churchill. A couple of interesting little ones with Winston Churchill. So back in a flash with my positive quotes, my thoughts for today. I'll see you again here tomorrow. Hi, everyone. Here I am again with my thoughts for today. Today's thoughts, we're dealing with the wisdom of Winston Churchill again, pretty much like we did yesterday. Had a lot of really good things. He was a smart guy. And he lived through a difficult period of time. So let me tell you the first one. And this is very applicable to what's going on with all this protesting. He said, harsh laws are at times better than no laws at all. Harsh laws are at times better than no laws at all. Now, can you imagine if we get rid of the police department? I mean, everybody keeps saying, yeah, well, everybody, all these protesters say we have to disband the police department. We have to get rid of the police department. I'm not really sure if they mean totally eliminating them. And then what do you do when somebody comes and robs your house and steals your car? And how do you deal with that? I really don't understand any of that. Maybe it's just that I'm too old to understand the progressive movement. But according to Winston Churchill, back in the 1900s, harsh laws are at times better than no laws at all. Here's another one that's interesting. It probably would have popped up during Prohibition. If you destroy a free market, you create a black market. If you destroy a free market, you create a black market. That has to do with, well, let's say it had to do a lot with Prohibition at the time, because it certainly did create a black market for alcohol and liquor at that time. And now, in many cases, with the non-legalization of marijuana and things like that, it has created a black market. I'm not certainly advocating legalizing marijuana. That's not my thing. Not at all. Don't believe in that one bit. I think it's a terrible, terrible idea. Take a look at what happened in Colorado. They're arresting more people now for being high on marijuana than they are being high on alcohol. They created their own problem all by themselves. If you destroy a free market, you create a black market. Certainly you do. The farther backward you can look, the farther forward you are likely to see. The farther backward you can look, the farther forward you can see. This is all about history. We don't want history to repeat itself, and generally that's not a good thing. So if you look back, you can generally see where you're going because you don't want to make those mistakes again. I think that's a pretty smart one. Okay, very quickly, once again, always be a part of the solution and never part of the problem. Always be a part of the solution and never part of the problem. And please push the like button. Push, push, push. I don't think I told you that at the beginning of this video, but if you like the video, please push the like button. Appreciate it very much. And I hope you have a very blessed Wednesday, and I'll see you back again here on Thursday, tomorrow. Have a great day.